Hello, it's Phil Thatch, and I'm here tonight with Heather, and we're at Booker T. Washington State Park, and we've been kind of driving around for the last 15 or 20 minutes trying to find a composition, and I think I found something where I have to stand over there and shoot across that way. So I'm going to get set up and we'll talk about it some more. Okay, so the shot I found is looking across at that pine tree that has a bench beside it, which I think I'll leave in the picture, and a sign slightly further to the left of the bench that I probably will take out of the picture. And I need to get down low so I can get that hill across. That's Chickamauga Lake over there, and there's a hill across the other side of it with trees, and I want to get that pine tree, but I want the hill top to be under the lowest branches of the pine tree. So to do that, I need to get down pretty low. So I'm gonna wobble down here. I don't have my get in the water shoes, but I can put my tripod in the water and probably get low enough to make the shot I need. I walked around this whole bank and all over lots of places, and I think this composition is going to be pretty cool because the water from this angle, you can really see the way it cuts in from the left and then curves around as the bank where that tree is on nearly the furthest sticking out part. I think it should look pretty cool. And the sun is going down, so we should have golden hour light by the time I get set up. Okay, that front leg needs to be a lot longer. All right, there's my tripod setup. I'm not sure what lens I'm going to use, so before I get everything on the camera, I'm just going to kind of trial and error with what lens I'm going to use. I always have the 70-200 on because that's the way things fit the best in the bag. I think that might do it, but I'm right at 70 millimeters and it's just pushing the limit, so I think I'm going to switch to the 24-70. So I'm using the Z6 and the FTZ and the 24-70, and check this out, my friend Percy, he saw one of my videos where I had all my filters still in their original boxes, and he had left over laying around this filter holder that holds 3 in a lot less space. So that's new to my kit, thanks Percy. Really windy, and that tree is wiggling all over the place. I would love to put a neutral density filter on and settle this water down, but with that tree wiggling around like it is, I really need a lot of shutter speed, a fast shutter speed. So looks like this one's not going to have filters. I really probably need to come back and shoot this again sometime because this composition's good. I'm really thrilled with it, but I'm not thrilled with that wiggling tree at all. So I think I'm probably going to exposure blend this like I did the water fountain recently at Cambridge Square, because it's backlit, this tree is. So I'm going to do one exposure for the sky and another exposure at a much slower shutter speed, so there can be some detail in the tree and the trees over here on the right and the trees in the background, and then blend them later in Lightroom. It's kind of hard to see the composition from here. I've actually lowered the camera nose down a little bit since I made that video of the composition, which puts the tree a little closer to the top of the frame on the left. There's a lot of dead space in the upper part of the frame on the right, and I thought it'd be better to have more water in the foreground. I may actually lower it a little bit more still. My shutter speeds are really high. I'm shooting at f8, ISO 100 of course, and my exposed for the sky shot's at about 1/640th, and that'll change as the sun goes down. And my exposed for the trees and the foliage shot is like 1/25th. I'm not using my remote shutter release. I'm using a 5-second timer, and I'm putting a shot of my hand in between every pair, so I'll be able to match them up. There's my camera, and there's the subject tree over there. And just a little bit further down is the dock that I made a picture of a while back, and probably a half a mile down the river is the trees that we made a sunset picture of. Was it late last year or early this year? Anyway, we made a sunset picture, and right over here, this is a slough that goes way back, and there's a trail here where you can hike all the way around that slough. So a lot of stuff to do here. Over there is a volleyball court, and up that hill is a swimming pool. Over there's some picnic area, and you can see some slides, and right under my subject tree there's a man fishing, so he may or may not end up in the final photograph. It depends on whether he gets done before the one that I like the best. And right here is my lovely assistant Heather, waiting to do more video of me when I quit playing with the video camera. The wind's trying to settle down a little bit. Well, now it's kind of picking back up, but I put the 10 stop on. I've been trying to slick the water without having that tree blurry from wiggling in the background. Our fisherman buddy has moved from the point where he looks really cool to almost directly in front of the tree where it's notably less cool. But I think he's using a fly rod, which if I was shooting a high shutter speed situation would be cool to catch him slinging that thing, but this is definitely not that. All right, well, we're back on the long exposure train now. I've got a 1 minute exposure going now with the 10 stop neutral density filter on. I'm probably not going to blend this shot, but we'll see how it turns out. Heather's, I left my phone in the car, so Heather's running the video camera and the timer for me. And I'm still guesstimating. I have an app now that NISI Filters makes. It's a free app that you can calculate how long your exposure should be if you put a 10 stop on or whatever. But this screw on filter, that's a lot of screwing on and screwing off, so I'm still using my guesstimator like I've been using. But I plan on upgrading to some slide in filters, and at that point I'll probably use the other. How's our time going? There it goes. All right, so the guesstimator is working just fine. That 1 minute exposure looks really nice. And our fisherman has moved back to the point. So let's see. The wind's died down, so that's really good. Let's do 2 minutes this time. Okay, so this will probably be our last or maybe next to last shot. I may try one more after this, but what time you got over there, Heather? Probably can't tell during the, well, we'll figure it out. It's probably 10 minutes or so after sunset, so we really, 7:13, so it's 9 minutes after sunset. All right, so it sounds like Heather's saying our timer's about done on our 2 minute shot. Heather's trying to hold the camera steady and look at her phone. There it goes. And 119.8 seconds, that's, you might as well call that 2 minutes. Pretty good. Pretty good. Now let's see. Now the 30-second exposure is showing 2/3 of a stop underexposed. All right, do me 2 minutes and 45 seconds. All right, well, this is the last one we're doing. It's, how long we do? 2 minutes and 45 seconds? 2:45. Sun's really going down now. And, you know, I ended up shooting at 70 millimeters, so I could have kept the 70 to 200 on. That's the one place where they overlap, 70 millimeters. I worked on all those different exposures, but one thing that was in common on every single one, the fisherman was there. Man, he's got every right to be there, but he was moving around, and so there was always a ghost in my picture. So right during that last photograph, the 2 minute and 45 second photograph, he left. So we needed to get out of there. So I took the 10 stop neutral density filter off, and I put a 3 stop on, and I bumped my f-stop from f8 to f16, and I ended up making this 10-second exposure, and it ended up being the keeper of the day. This is the raw version right here. You can see behind the bench under the tree is a sign, and then in the foreground in the water there's a pole, and in the edited version. I took all of that stuff out and did some nice editing, I thought, with white balance of the sky and of the water. And anyway, we're going to finish up. We appreciate you watching. Have a great day. If you liked it, hit the old thumbs up button. That's always appreciated. And Heather and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Say bye, Heather.